I'm Kayla, and today's global topic is
Refugees.
All across the world, millions of individuals are forced to flee their country due to push factors such as war and political turmoil and persecution. These people that immigrate out of their country are known as refugees. However, people who are stateless or have been denied the protection of their government are not considered refugees. Instead, they are seen as people in refugee-like situations. The definition or meaning of a refugee can vary from country to country depending on their economic and social situations.
the top 3 refugee hosting countries are Jordan, which hosts 2.7 million, Turkey with 2.5 million, and Pakistan with 1.6 million. It's a problem for the smaller countries, who are usually 10 times smaller than the big presence of the United States and Britain. They struggle to support their own population as well as influx of refugees and neighboring countries, which puts a strain on their land, economy, and native residents.
The concept of refugees first rose to prominence in 1938, with Jewish individuals and groups fleeing Nazi Germany. They were displaced citizens who needed to escape their home country to avoid death and labor camps. In 1950, the United Nations High Commission on Refugees was established to help provide aid and relief to those fleeing conflict. Since then, the notion and scale of refugees has widened, and now there are millions of displaced individuals, making it widespread and a global problem. Wars of independence and civil conflict have displaced millions from Algeria, the Congo, Angola, and Nigeria, and the Cold War saw thousands removed from their homes in Afghanistan to the Horn of Africa. It is now estimated that there are about 65.3 million refugees in the world, but only 22.5 of them are registered. Over half of them are coming from the 3 countries of Syria, Afghanistan, and South Sudan. These regions have been destroyed by war and inner turmoil, and individuals have quickly fled to neighboring states and sometimes even across the ocean to countries like the United States.
Many refugees are fleeing from poor, undeveloped nations in the periphery and semi-periphery. When they arrive to more stable and core countries, they struggle to adapt to new lifestyle. They face struggles with learning English or native language of that country, properly integrating and assimilating children into school systems, finding their way into new culture, and they often face heavy discrimination that they can make it hard to find jobs or even places to live. Our case study of refugee camp in Kenya showcases some of the struggles refugees and countries face. In Kenya, a camp named Dadaab was pressuring Somalis to flee from the camp back into Somalia, leaving them in renewed displacement, starvation, and drought. Not only the Somalis are being forced to leave the camp, as a whole is required due to the announcement to close the large refugee camp of 240,000 people. In May of 2016, Kenya's government was concerned with the national security and insufficient support of the international community, as well as dwindling food rations and services. Kenya's government failure to international community to provide adequate services, the UN refugee agency UNHCR found that Kenya's refugee camp was only 29% funded.
Kayla and I sat down with Marcia Hirsch, who runs the Carolina Refugee Resettlement Agency, to ask her a few questions about refugees and what her company does. Here's our interview.
What are the goals of your agencies and what do you do?
We have to meet all of the tasks and requirements of the State Department in that 90 days, Social Security cards, enrolled in to public benefits, getting children enrolled into the public school system, health checks with the health department. We have ongoing cultural orientation classes. If there's a client that's very ill, we have funding to help with their, help to guide them through the medical system.
Where do most of your refugees come from?
Well, in the past 10 years or so, most of the people we've been receiving have been from Bhutan, Burma, Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Eritrea, Congo, and then Syria.
What is the biggest problem for refugees when they come to a new country?
Well, basically it's just a huge life transition.
Now for solutions. Because there will always be war and ongoing conflict in the world, it is difficult to find a definitive solution for refugees. Two solutions that host countries have come up with that we agree with include the wealthiest countries finding a home for 10% of the world's refugees every year, and investing in search and rescue operations, as well as the establishment of safe routes to sanctuary.